Okay, we're off out for another walk. Got the old Irwins over there, Motor World now. Was it Irwins or Unwins? I always get mistaken. And then you got the Somerfield site. That's not been used for quite a few years now. I think the last place it was Nice Price, I think. It was Gateways when I was a lad. I think it opened in the late 80s. I worked there in the late 80s or very, very early 90s. And this was the council offices, which are now long gone. They've been pulled down. And this little place here is a mental health services day hospital for older people. I can't honestly remember what that was before. I thought it was like a baby clinic or something, but I could be wrong. But yeah, the Civic Hall's gone. A pity really. It was handy having something like this locally so you could pop in and find out about things. But cutbacks, austerity, etc. Got the library still. That's managed to survive the cull so far. Dr. Gavin used to live in the old White House, didn't he, years ago? Swimming baths are still here. Swimming baths is not owned by the council any longer though. I believe it's run by some kind of, I don't know if it's a charitable concern or private company or what, but it's no longer owned by the council. They've discharged that duty. It's funny really, because I believe at the time when we had Wepper Hall, we had the choice of either have a swimming baths, stop people drowning in the Dee, or keep the hall, so they built the baths. Now they've got rid of the baths. Right, this is the Civic Hall, this one. That's being used at the moment as a test centre for COVID-19. Still got the stage in there, but it's covered up at the moment. The police station still exists. Now it was part-time, it may still be, I'm not sure. It's a private dentist across the way. Now the police station when I was a kid, it looks like it's quite manned at the moment, but this place when I was a kid used to have all the little blue minis parked up outside, remember them? Light blue with the white doors. They're there for years. Right, I'll pause there because I don't want it to be like a 5-hour video, and I'll turn it back on again when we get a bit further up the road. Righty-ho, just turning off the drive. Not really that far from the police houses, but wanted to go down the lane, so we head down here. I don't know what the ecky thump that is. I used to go the other way, past the farmhouses and that, but the farms all got sold and went into private ownership, and I think they're not too keen on people going past there these days. It all seems quite locked up. There's a place here flogging cakes. Didn't even know that existed. So there's one for you. If you fancy a cake for a birthday or something, you know where to go. Mel's Amazing Cakes. I think there's a little tiny bit of sleet in the air. There's a couple of flakes a minute ago. To see. Is that the way?
That way is the convoy.
This way?
Yeah.
Right, let's go this way then.
Private road.
Okay.
You can't walk down there. But it's the T-junction at the end where there's an entrance.
Don't know, should we go and have a look? Can have a look, I suppose. There's a lot of new houses around here these days. It's quite confusing. Well, new houses are probably about 30 years old, knowing me. See, this looks more along the way I'd have thought I used to go. The allotments, yeah, because I used to walk along the side of the allotment, so this looks more along the lines of the right road that I used to go down. But it's got a private road on there, I don't know. Mind you, that might just be to keep the cars away, yeah. I'm sure this is the way I used to come, because I seem to recall these houses. It's at least, good grief, what? I don't know how many years since I've come down here. Must be a decade at least. Usually a little bridge that goes across the water. Yeah, this is the old route, definitely. There's the old bridge. Looks a lot wider than I remember it. I thought it was a lot narrower than that. I have to watch out for the swimming baths here. Not many ducks down here this time of year. There's a little meter over there. I don't know if this zooms in enough to pick it up, but you're looking at just coming up to 6 foot on the height level. So it's reasonably deep. Now I tell a lie, I've been down this road here in recent times because I parked up there, but I've not walked through the route along the way there for a good while. Nice to see the allotments are still there and they're not a housing estate yet. Not yet anyway. Hey. I thought there was something in that bin then. It's because when you're walking across the wood, it makes the bin rattle. Thought a rat was going to jump out. Get up to Hendy's pub up there. It's only the second outing really for this camera, so I'm still getting used to it. Yeah, there's certainly been some kind of expansion over here over the years. There's a lot of housing appeared. I mean, that one has been there for quite a long time. And there's a school over there. I haven't got a clue what school that is. Do you know what school that is, love?
Yeah, it was Taliesin
Oh, right, okay.
and the special disabled store.
Uscola Bryn.
So now it's called something else.
Oh, right, well, that's Uscola Bryn and Taliesin. Apparently. That's a new one on me. Pigeon up ahead, a blackbird or something here, is it? There's some kind of housing estate up here that I don't really recognise as well. See, when I was a kid, most of this was lane and fields with the odd house here and there. Not many of them, about 3 probably. Now it looks as though it's been developed quite a lot. This certainly wasn't here before. I don't recognise any of this. Farms up there, isn't it? I don't know what that one goes to, do you?
Same. This is a wrapper as well.
I see.
Looks like it's on the walking side.
Yeah. That used to be the route up to Wepper. But it's a real route now, and that wasn't there. That didn't exist. Taliesin. Rightio, carry on. I mean, this might be nice for those of you who've not been down Killins Lane for a while. Shows you what it's like now. Not quite as wild as it once was. This is more along the lines of what it was when I was a kid. No housing estates, just edges. heading up this way you can get to see Killins Farm, because Killins Farm shut probably in the mid-late 80s. They built a bungalow in the field and they shipped off into the bungalow, and Killins Farm was just left empty for years. At one point there was a tree growing through the roof. It was completely derelict, and then about 2 years ago, something like that, they come along and they sorted it out, refurbished the place, turned the barn into housing, and made the place nice again. I think it's residential rather than farming now, but I think so anyway. The cows used to be either in the little barn on the right or around the back in the bigger barn. Whether they still are, I don't know. Find out in a minute. I believe they've done a good job though. The tips used to be up here as well on the left. I think in the fields they've still got those little twirly things to get rid of the bad gases or whatever. Because there was a fair bit of industrial stuff leading up from across the road from the central in Shotton, up that lane. They used to have like the boat place where they fix the boats, and they had other things. It was like a builder's yard or something along those sort of lines there. But here we are, we're coming towards the farm now. Ooh, not too sure about that choice of hedge. Mum had them, and they're great when they're little like that, but when they grow, they're a flipping nightmare. And the wood on them grows thick. So there is still some farming equipment lurking, so signs that there's a possibility that the farm is still in action maybe. Now that barn at the back is bricked up now. That was where the cows used to live, and this one on the right. Can't believe it when you look at it now, because that was just like a really dingy, smelly old barn. And the house is lovely now too. I think there's a window missing there, I think. Could be wrong. Doesn't look quite how I remember it. I'll have to look back on old photos. But at least it hasn't got a tree growing through the roof, which is nice. Right, I'm not sure how you do it, but you can manoeuvre this flipping camera up and down. Ah, there we go. That's better, you get a bit of a better view. And the bungalow is just over yonder. That's what they all moved into from the old farmhouse. There's a thing full of sparrows here. There's a cat across the way going mad. And that route, if you followed it down, there we go, that route there, if you follow that down, would take you down to, that's better, would take you down to Shotton. Apologies, I'm still getting used to this camera. I used to go walking up there with the dog years ago as well. I think it was a wooden style in them days though, but I don't think I'll bother today. It looks a little bit too slimy. It is a lovely walk up the fields. There's a train. I think there's some traces of snow in there. They're very slight. And this one looks as though it's crops growing and there's a little tiny bit of sleet or something in the air. Nice walk though. If you go across that stile back there, you get out up into the hills and it's quite pretty. Worth a walk if you're in this way. Train's on its way as well. Car come in here? Don't think you can. You can have a look, but you can't go. You can't go on the railway. It's on a bit of a corner, so you don't get a very good view anyway, really. And I don't fancy £1,000 fine or getting squashed, so I think I'll just go back down. Very slimy, these steps as well, so if you do come this way, I'd just give that a miss if I was you. I think the sleet's starting to become rain now. What I'll do in a sec, I'll stick this one away and get out my waterproof camera, perhaps stick this video up separately, but see if I can get around this corner here. This has been a bit of a change around here as well in recent years. That lane on the right where the car's just gone, I used to know as Jackie Snails. I think it was like a local name. I think because it winds round and round. Cars used to go like hell going up and down there to Yulo. But it has changed a little bit just around here. I mean, there's the obvious changes to gardens and driveways and things that have occurred over the years with some of the housing. It's quite old, but there's also quite a lot of new housing that's recently been put in. I don't even know if they've finished it yet. I think they may have done though. Like I say, I'm always a bit behind the times. It looks as though they haven't put the gardening hedges etc in yet, but this is the new bit I was thinking of. These are not long built, these things. There was an old house up on the hill there that a lot of people will probably remember, and that's been ripped down. Now some of you might not even know about Thornfields, and that's been here for quite a number of years. It's about 1990s I think. But yeah, the old cottage has gone. Right, so I'm going to turn this off now because it's starting to snow in earnest and this will just get knackered. So there we go.